Hello, I'm Nancy, and this is my service learning project. I did my project at the Boys and Girls Club, the Vicar location, and what the Boys and Girls Club is, it's a program. It's like an after-school daycare type. So what it is that they are the adults there in the building. It's a building where this program is in. It's not within DPS. So they have the drivers go pick up the students and then they bring them to the building, to this location, or they come walking, the students come walking, or um, their parents even bring them sometimes. So what it is, it's this program and it just costs $2, I believe. It's mostly from people that donate money, and they try to help parents while they work. So it's like a daycare, but for students that, um, but for students. So my role there is to be there 2 to 3 days a week, and to work about 2 to 3 hours. Each day that I go, I am in the learning center. I'm a volunteer, and what I do at the learning center, I just help students with reading, writing, math, just basically whatever homework they have, as well as reading with them, so they can boost up their AR testing scores. So for this project, I mixed two projects into one. Um, this is also part of the legacy project, but that's for a different course. And I worked with three other girls that were also volunteers and that are in that course with me in that field experience. Being a volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club, I also had to work with the director at Vickers, and as well as the literacy coach, because the literacy coach would always give us instructions since we were in her room. Um, I got a lot of the framework of learning about collaborations from interactions from Friend and Cook. And I had to use a lot of personal commitment, not only with this project, but also being a volunteer at the Boys and Girls Club. I also had to work on my communication skills. I'm not really good at communicating. Like when something's up, so I had to communicate with those three girls as well as my professors. If I couldn't go for some reason, I'm also working at a DPS school, so I had to do a lot of communication with them. There was also lots of I worked with the programs and service that talks about in the frames of learning, and this is on page 23. When we were told about these two projects, the first thing that we thought was to ask our director if he needed anything, if he wanted to like brainstorm some ideas with us, something that he really wanted us to give to the club, since it's only for one semester that we're going to be in there, and also to to ask for permission if we could use any area in the club to do this activity, and just to know what's going on in our courses. He came up with the idea of doing something with math. He said, since we already have a really good AR testing, accelerated readers testing program that the students do on the computer after they read a book, and they get points and prizes, but we really don't have a math activity. So what we thought was to come up with a little program or an activity where it could get the students engaged in something different from their like regular routine of school, then coming to the Boys and Girls Club, and then they all do go to their own social group. We wanted to bring the kids together, like all sorts of grades, and being very diverse too. So we came up with this idea of doing the Math Olympics, and what it is, it's we came up with a bunch of activities, a lot of activities, and then the students got to rotate around, and they get to do these activities, and the activities have to do with math. For example, I did math soccer, which was they had to kick the ball, but every single time they kicked the ball, they had to count by twos, fives, or whatever number came to my head first. That was the number that they had to go by, so they can learn how to quickly count while the ball is coming to them. One of my colleagues did basketball, and it was just hoops, and every single time she did a hoop they had to do multiplication. There was also like math bingo and like a game board that was like Candyland, and they were just being very active. So in order to do this, we had to go again with the director and ask him if we could borrow the gym so we could do these activities, and if we could borrow equipment like soccer balls and basketballs and hoops and all this stuff. Of course, he said yes, and he really liked our activity. He suggested that every single time they go to a station, we give them candy, kind of like a reimbursement to have them like, oh yeah, we did this, but we also got candy, you know? So that was to bring more kids in. Also, yeah, we just had once we talked to the Boys and Girls Club director, we each were assigned to find an activity online and incorporate math into it. So then, and then we were going to put it on this Google Doc, and after that, just to see what we were each going to be doing and to be responsible. The hard thing about this was checking in with each other, because we would see each other at the Boys and Girls Club and we would also see each other in class, but we really didn't talk outside of those areas. So that was something really hard, but at the same time, it's like in the back of like my head, I knew I had this responsibility for my classmates and for these courses, that I had to do my activity, my role of what I was assigned on time, so no one will be hurt. And also, I think everyone else in the group also knew that we had this common goal of we have to get this done by this day to turn in that assignment. So that was a characteristic of a team, because we really did work. Again, back to the interactions, and this is on page 138. So one of the characteristics of a team is to have a common goal and to like explicitly say what that common goal is. And our common goal was to do a math activity for the kids to enjoy and for us to turn in our assignment on time. So there were like two parts to that goal, but we had this common goal in the back of our head, so we knew we had to get the assignment done. Reflecting back to everything that happened and all the activities, the planning, and everything that we had to incorporate into it, I feel like I really enjoyed it. It was kind of sad, and it's still sad to know that in a few weeks I'll be gone from the Boys and Girls Club and that I won't be with them anymore. But at the same time, I feel like I also built some relationships from being Boys and Girls Club and from these two courses, as well as it's really sad too that I'm leaving the kids. The next day, so we did this last week, and the next day the kids would ask us, hey, when are you going to do that program again? Like, they actually thought that we were going to do this math program like once a week or something. So it sucks that no one has time at the Boys and Girls Club. There are about 8 adults that are there Monday through Saturday, and they're there all day from like 7 in the morning to 9 at night. So but they don't have time because they're all assigned to a role in there. It was only the volunteers that could really do it, and now that we're gone, the kids won't really have that that relationship with us, as well as that extra math. But we're still finishing up that notebook that we're doing for them of activities, math activities they can do. So hopefully they'll be able to use that and have fun with that even when we're gone. Again, I'm Nancy, and thank you so much for watching my service learning video.